My Lords, I draw attention to my unpaid interest declared in the Register as the Prime Minister's Special Envoy on LGBT rights and as Chair of the Global Equality Caucus. I believe that to try and change, cure or suppress someone's innate sexual orientation is harmful and cruel. While in the medical setting conversion therapies are now declared unethical, they continue in the private sphere. If they reach the current legal threshold of physical or sexual violence, they may already be criminal. But some systematic attempts to convert gay people fall below this threshold, so damaging practices cannot be prevented. We know this through survey evidence, as well as the powerful personal testimonies of victims. The government itself has said that there are gaps in the law and has promised to close them. But in doing so, a new law needs to set the bar in the right place. The mere expression of disapproval, the exploration of someone's identity, or genuine help for people with no predetermined outcome in mind should not be criminalised, nor should private prayer. We should never legislate lightly in the religious sphere, but Parliament has done so before to prevent harm. For example, we don't allow any faith group a licence to promote hate. A growing number of countries around the world have passed various forms of prohibition on conversion therapy, usually without the opposition we've seen here. The vast majority of bans explicitly allow for conversations, medical procedures, and therapies that aim to explore or affirm a person's identity, including Belgium, Canada, France, and Germany. Canada's Conservatives did not blink in passing a ban. Many other countries are in the process of legislating or are considering one. Yet here we are paralysed by the conflation of the need to protect vulnerable people who are being exploited by coercive and abusive practices with a separate debate about medical provision for young people with gender dysphoria. I agree that we need to ensure that children are protected, and it should be perfectly possible to write in safeguards which ensure that family conversations and neutral professional interventions are not outlawed. Legislation in New Zealand, for instance, clarifies that questioning someone's gender identity does not fall under a ban. We should not allow, and there is no need to allow, for either side to use legislation as a vehicle to promote their particular views on gender. I hold no brief for gender ideology. I am no fan of the language police and their ever more absurd acronyms. I have argued that to dismiss out of hand the genuine concerns of women about fairness in sport or safe spaces, or of parents about the welfare of their children, is ill-advised and wrong. But it is equally wrong to vilify transgender people or to use language that denigrates them. We need a compassionate, respectful, and moderate debate about the real issues which arise through a potential conflict of rights. I have called for a Royal Commission to investigate these issues calmly and dispassionately, to get to the facts and to make recommendations for any changes in law or practice which are needed. I am not referring to today's debate, but the more I hear of the wider discourse, the more I see crude culture wars carelessly fought, the more sure I am that such an inquiry is needed. If noble lords had met, as I have, people who were subjected to conversion therapy, who still bear the mental scars of what frankly amounted to a form of torture, I don't think they would be so dismissive of the need for greater legal protections. And if they find it impossible to put themselves in the shoes of a young man who is struggling with his sexuality, that his feelings are wrong and must be beaten down, then I ask them to engage in this thought experiment. Imagine a different world in which homosexuality was the norm. This, I appreciate, would, for most of my noble friends, be a definition of hell. But imagine this parallel universe nevertheless. Imagine yourself growing up with strong heterosexual feelings, but being told that these are profoundly wrong. Imagine what it would do to you to try and suppress or deny those feelings. Imagine if those around you were determined to change you, to make you gay and could bully you with impunity with that objective, how do you think you would feel? In his autobiographical novel, Boy Erased, which was made into a moving film, Garrard Conley, who was subjected to distressing conversion therapy in a Christian institution in the United States, writes, "Even if I no longer believe in hell, I will continue to struggle with the fear of it. My lords, we should not stand by and allow these harmful practices to continue. Yes, we must frame the law carefully, but the time to outlaw this abuse is long overdue."